People or things? Each moment of the day, we have to make that choice between people and things. Things, of course, are usually easier to deal with. Things don't require emotional engagement. We don't have to make eye contact with them. We don't have to care about them, concern ourselves with how they feel. When it comes to dealing with things, we can disengage anytime, walk away, have a cup of coffee, even forget them entirely. But when it comes to people, that's a different story. Engaging with people usually takes more time than we had anticipated. We have to slow down or speed up to meet their pace. We have to listen to them, which means we have to empty ourselves of our agenda and be willing to be present to someone else. People require our patience, our tenderness, and our compassion. When dealing with tasks or things, we can throw a tool across the room if frustration gets the better of us. We can't do that with a frustrating person, though, not without facing a lawsuit. So, what does this have to do with that bunch of guys in a boat on the Sea of Tiberias? Well, after the resurrection and all the astonishment of those hours, after Jesus breathes Spirit on his friends and commissions them to forgive sins in his name, it seems the disciples decide to go fishing. Not surprising, perhaps. They are fishermen, right? But Jesus had been pretty clear about what he expects. For 3 years, he demonstrated that discipleship is about preaching, teaching, and healing, because there's a big, wide world out there in desperate need of rescue. There's really no time to waste when you think about it. People around us are falling apart every day for want of a word of hope or consolation or mercy. And of course, we sympathize with the disciples. It had been a challenging 3 years for them, not to mention an intensely traumatizing final week. Fishing was something they could do with their eyes closed. So when Peter says, "Hey guys, I'm going fishing," they're all ready to jump in the boat with him. Fishing used to be work, but after 3 years following Jesus, fishing's a picnic. We know the story, of course. They don't catch anything until Jesus shows up. And after another happy reunion, Peter goes aside with Jesus, and Jesus reminds him what he originally signed up for. Peter used to fish for food before Jesus invited him to fish for people. Peter isn't in this to fill his own belly anymore. He's supposed to be casting that wider net for the lost, the least, and the last. So, what's it going to be? People or things? You and I are always tempted to push away the child or the friend or the coworker who's asking for our time. We want to favor the task, whether it's making supper or making deadline. Jesus asks us to put people first, because that big, wide world out there could still use a rescue, one precious person at a time.